Hello, I am Chylli from channel Chylli, also known as Chai, and we are back for more depersonalization. Continuing where we were last time, we went up to the mountain church after we encountered those quote-unquote Resident Evil zombies. Still really funny, I cannot believe we said that. You arrived at the church and found old Consel was also there. What are you doing here? If you're injured, stay at home and rest. Don't wander around. Okay, Dad, but I met the priest at the beach and I have some questions to ask him. Consel raised an eyebrow. That doesn't sound like you. Before, when I asked you to come to church for Mass, you didn't want to, saying you didn't like it here. What do you want to talk to the priest about? Saying this, Consel stopped talking and scratched his head as if he had remembered something. Forget it, I won't ask any more. By the way, I just remembered. That girl Vanessa, did you take her to the ship too? I saw that she was soaked like you. No, actually, after the ship sank, it was Vanessa who saved me. How crazy, she had an illness and she's a child and she can't do intense exercise. Is she okay? She didn't look well, she went home to take some medicine. You better go to her house to see if everything's okay. If you can't open the door, look for the key in her mailbox. Valen knows you two are very close and specifically asked me to take good care of his daughter. I'm leaving. Take care. Consel left the church. Today doesn't seem to be a day for Mass. What did Consel come here for? The iron door is tightly closed. You try to shake it, but it doesn't even move. The dark iron bars are covered with rust, in contrast to the solemnity of the rest of the church, looking particularly out of place. You involuntarily approached to see what was inside, but you couldn't see anything. Only a faint smell of rust seemed to float in this unknown space. It seems it needs a key to open, or maybe... Father, is it really not my fault? He became so alcoholic. It's not your fault. Your husband also acted with the intention of supporting your family. He just suffered a blow and needs something external to relieve his pain. Don't blame yourself too much for it. When you have time, ask him to come to the church too. Okay, thank you, Father. You found the mysterious face-covered priest again. Father Naya, hello. Hello, Amon. How did you expect us to meet again so soon? His tone was calm and indifferent. That means he has something to find me for, right? I guess it's not about faith, is it? The indifferent man seemed to see through your purpose for coming and got straight to the point. In that case, I won't beat around the bush either. I'm very curious about the words you said to me on the beach last time. I hope you can be more direct. The priest, upon hearing their question, pondered a bit and then slowly raised a finger. First, Amon, you need to understand one thing. These words do not come from me. It is a revelation that the great Lord gave me. It is his gift to mortals. Explaining is not his responsibility. How to understand the meaning of those words depends on ourselves. He paused for a moment, an inscrutable glint passing from under his hood. Next, I want to ask you, do you know Schrodinger's cat? A clergyman suddenly talking about quantum mechanics with you left you stunned, and a hint of doubt arose in your mind. Father, are you really going to talk science with me? You felt as if the black hole under the hood smiled. Religion and science, in some places, really do intersect. They both have different explanations for the world, but in the end, they're both humanity's exploration of the unknown. When human cognition surpasses understanding, when it cannot be explained by mathematics and logic, we can only use supernatural words to describe it. He shook his head as if feeling a bit emotional. I got a little sidetracked. What I wanted to say is about the theory of observation. Since you understand quantum mechanics, you should know the meaning of observation in it. For some reason, you couldn't see his face, but you felt his deep gaze as if he wanted to see through your soul. The world we live in, whether past, future, or present, is dynamic and nebulous. Each person is an observer, seeing a facet of the world from their own angle. The superposition of multiple angles forms the chaotic model of the world we live in. The priest paused as if pondering his next words. Suppose the cat in the box is seen by you as dead, but other people have not seen the situation. So as long as you don't influence the observation result of other people and their cognition, the cat will always be in a superposition state of life and death. But if you influence another person's observation, then this chaotic balance will be broken. It's as if you have influenced another person's future, and the subsequent changes would cause the collapse of the originally chaotic future. He looked at you deeply as if measuring how much truth you could bear. Therefore, I could not tell you my understanding. Otherwise, this established fact would deviate from the original trajectory and be corrected by causality. In the end, you still can't tell me, right? The priest crossed his hands behind his back with helplessness and a touch of deep meaning. In terms of the result, yes, but I still need to give some explanation for this actions. Father, might I ask you what my father told you? I saw him coming to the church just now. Even though he's your father, you should respect him. I have a duty to maintain the confidentiality of his confession. But actually, why he came here you should already know. Saying this, the priest pointed to the wounds on your body. Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Ma'am, hello. You saw the lady hide her bitterness and then assume an expression of caution. What is it? What do you want? Here's the thing, I overheard a bit of your conversation with the priest. Does your husband drink because of family financial problems? That's right, but what do you want? Hearing your question, as if you were taking a census, she became even more cautious. Ma'am, don't be afraid. See if you remember me. Consell is my father, the one who has the convenience store. The woman, upon hearing this, looked at you suspiciously for a few seconds and seemed to recognize something. Oh, you are the son of the old man from the convenience store, right? I think I have a vague memory. That's right, actually, I'm the loader of our family's convenience store. Today, by chance, I got injured, and the doctor told me I can't do heavy work for at least 10 days or half a month. So the shop is short-staffed, and I was thinking, why don't you talk to your husband about him coming to work as a temp at our shop? Saying this, he still showed the wounds on your body to prove you weren't lying. Upon hearing your words, the woman's previously gloomy face lit up. Really, that would be great. For a job, Jack tried so hard. The last company said they would pay 5 insurances and 1 housing fund. Work from 9 to 5, 5 days a week with a year-end bonus and 3 days of annual leave in the first year and so on. The benefits were great, but what? After he joined, they said the probation period was 6 months. And after 6 months, they still didn't make him permanent and they fired him for a work mistake. Hearing the woman describe the exploitation of cheap labor by unscrupulous entrepreneurs, he quickly explained, "Ma'am, don't worry. We are small merchants. The work is with a signed contract. What you described will not happen. But you have to tell Jack that personally. At this hour, he should be at the town's tavern. If you see him, help me convince him to drink less. Drinking gets in the way." "Okay, ma'am. By the way, please tell me your name to make my communication with Jack easier." "Tavern location has been unlocked." Okay, seems we need to come back with a silver key. With a click, the lock opened. He grabbed the door and prepared to enter. "My God, Father, how did you appear next to me without making a sound? You're the one who scared me so sneakily. I was just checking what you were doing." The priest was standing there silently. He didn't seem scared as he said. He looked at your hand on the railing and asked, "Are you very curious about what's inside?" "A rat just went in. I wanted to help you catch it." The priest crossed his hand behind his back impassively. "In that case, why pick the lock? You could have just told me." He opened the gate, looking at you from under his hood. Shall we? Shall we catch the rat?" You followed the priest inside. This is the church's sacrifice room. From time to time, animal sacrifices must be made. The priest looked around. There doesn't seem to be a rat in here. This is a sacred place to summon the Lord. It's better not to linger, otherwise it's a profanation to the Lord. Saying this, the priest led you out. Amon, I still advise you. It's better to do less things like picking locks. The Lord is always watching. All right, interesting. Alrighty then, let's get out of here. Is Consel back at the shop now? You returned from the church to the convenience store, and as he pushed open the door, the old father was not in his usual place. He quietly entered the shop, looked around, and soon found Consel back in the corner. He was standing by the wall, staring fixedly at a picture frame on the wall as if frozen in that moment. You approached slowly, the photo in the frame catching your attention. It was a warm family photo. A younger Consel smiling next to his beloved wife, and she with a smile holding the little Amon, still a baby. "Dad?" You called him softly, but Consel didn't react, his gaze still immersed in the photo, as if lost in a distant memory. You raised your voice. "Dad." This time, Consel finally came to his senses, his gaze as if pulled from a distant dream. His looks showed a bit of confusion, and then he recovered with weariness. "Amon, when did you get back?" You approach, look at the yellow photo, and a complex mix of emotions stirred in your heart. The mother's smile, as in the dust of time, seemed even warmer and more distant. The happiness of that moment as if forever frozen in the photo, while reality had already shattered it. Dad, actually, I'm curious. Why did you go to the church? To get answers to certain questions from the priest? Consell was silent for a moment, turned slowly, his gaze once again resting on the photo, as if he hadn't heard your question, or perhaps he simply didn't want to answer. He sighed deeply, his voice hoarse and low. Did you know Lisa? She was such a good person. You only remembered that, in Amon's memories, his mother had died of illness. Consell paused, his voice with a slight tremor. His fingers gently caressed the edge of the picture frame, as if he wanted to touch his wife's face or the cold glass. Why? Consell asked painfully, and you didn't know who he was addressing. Was it the world that took his wife's life, or himself? You could see a glint of tears in his eyes, but he suppressed them forcefully, not wanting them to fall. Your mother was always so strong, so gentle. She was like the sun of this house, always trying to illuminate us. Was such a good person in the end, still. His voice broke for an instant. He didn't continue, just shook his head slightly. Consell's voice grew lower, as if at that moment all of his strength had been drained. He took a deep breath, forcing to himself to compose himself, a bit of calm returning to his eyes. Then he took a pack of cigarettes from his pocket. With slightly trembling fingers, he took one and lit it. Took a long drag, the white smoke slowly coming out of his mouth. Amon, please, be very careful, okay? His voice was low, the weariness and helplessness evident on the face of the man over 50. Looking at his face, the man who always stood strong in front of you now looks so old. You nodded, said no more, and turned silently, heading for the door. The moment you left the shop, you couldn't help but look back. Consell was still standing in front of the photo, his gaze fixed on the past years. Time and memories had sculpted his back like a statue, the smoke rising silently around him. What is it? Why haven't you gone to the pier to get the things yet? This is... It's your birthday present. Happy birthday. I remember, my birthday was the day before yesterday. You don't need to worry about these things for me. If you work well and can support the shop in the future, I'll be happy. And besides, I smoke roll your own cigarettes now. Go to work. Okay. Although Consell was rushing you, he secretly hid the gift you gave him when you weren't looking. I still wonder what this weird key is used for. You arrived at the tavern door and saw a few figures with the appearance of thugs talking at the entrance. Boss, is our target for today? Is this our target for today? Lately, our brothers are short on cash, needing some money. I'm telling you not to rush. The owner of the tavern has a lot of money. Today we're going to make a good haul, and our brothers' lives will soon get better." The man called Boss pointed at the closed tavern door and then added in a low voice, "But I heard from the brothers in the area that the owner of the bar has his tricks. Pointing a gun at his head might not be enough to intimidate him, so we have to use a strategy." He turned around and took a pair of shiny handcuffs from his pocket, swinging them, and said to the thug beside him, "In a bit, we'll pretend to go in to buy a drink. When the owner comes to serve us, while he's not paying attention, we'll handcuff him with this. Then if he has tricks, he won't be able to do anything." Thug A, upon seeing the handcuffs in the boss's hand, couldn't help but show an excited smile, and said in a low voice, "Boss, your move is brilliant. Tonight with the money, our brothers can finally go out and have fun." The thug boss looked at him and snorted coldly. "We haven't even gotten it yet, and you're already thinking about having fun. Do the job right first, don't let me down. Let's go in and act convincingly so we don't reveal who we really are." "You're right, boss. First, let's take care of this." A cruel glint passed through the eyes of the man called Boss. He nodded with a confidence and of certain victory. The thugs walked toward the tavern door. "It seems I've seen something troublesome, and you in the darkness witnessed all of it. If you don't act, the tavern owner could be in danger." He saw the appearance of the bar owner behind the counter. The tanning lamp had left his skin dark brown. His graying hair was slicked back with 2 strands falling lightly on his forehead. He wore a Tiffany blue shirt with a silver-gray blazer over it. A few unbuttoned shirt buttons gave him a more relaxed air. Then you approached him. "Sir, what would you like?" A smell of alcohol mixed with cigar hit you. Looking at the person in front of you, you felt a certain familiarity. "Excuse me, sir, although it's a bit sudden, but have we met somewhere before?" Upon hearing your words, he laughed dryly. "Oh, that's too much, sir. You can't use the pickup lines you use on the ladies on me." "Or do you really have that need? In that case, I really have some contacts to introduce you to." Saying this, the man in front of you even winked at you with a knowing expression. "Just kidding, let me introduce myself. My name is Chylli. I'm the owner of this bar, the Stag." "Chylli, what are you doing here? Didn't you go for Constantine?" "Oh, just a little sleight of hand." Saying this, he took out the pistol again and bang, did the same trick as before. "Did you forget? Ben's Mafia already fled, so I had to find another way out. Besides, that was in the previous module. Don't bring memories from before here." "Okay, that's funny. That's a funny fourth wall break." Suddenly, you felt the dizziness. You didn't understand why you suddenly said those things. "Why did I suddenly say that? How should I know?" "Nice to meet you, Chylli. Here's the thing." You looked back at the thugs in the corner and then lowered your voice and said to Chylli, "You see those 3 thugs over there? I heard them outside." Before you could finish, Chylli waved his hand holding the cigar. He said, smiling, I know, those idiots want to rob me, right?" When you were about to ask how he knows, Chylli answered, "You don't need to look at them now. Those idiots' clothes are torn." Normally, people who come to the bar to drink, even if they're not well off, don't get to that point. And usually, people who come in ask for a drink, they stay in the corner looking all around. And they keep looking at me from the side, which also proves they're not here for someone else. He laughed disdainfully and continued. What's more, that kid won't take his hand out of his pocket. Given the size of the pocket, a very long barrel pistol wouldn't fit either. I think it's a Glock 42. Chylli lightly tapped the ash from the cigar and continued with a gentle smile. Idiots like these who aren't afraid of dying, I've seen many. But sir, I still have to thank you, just for getting involved in danger for someone you've never seen. That courage is worthy of praise. But since you've helped this far, why not go all the way and accompany me in another good play? You want to... Hello, gentlemen, what would you like? As you were about to ask more, you discovered that the three thugs had already approached the counter. You immediately fell silent, gave up your seat, and watched the events unfold. The lead thug slammed some crumpled coins and notes on the table. 3 lager beers and make it quick. Yes, sir, please wait a moment. When Chylli turned around with the beer, he winked at you. You approached the thug with the handcuffs in his pocket. Silently, you cut his pocket with a small knife. The moment the handcuffs fell, you caught them to avoid making a sound. Chylli, smiling, placed the 3 beers on the counter. You saw the lead thug give a signal, and the thug you just stole the handcuffs from suddenly reached out. He grabbed Chylli's right hand and stuck his other hand in the pocket. Oh, sir, if you're looking for something, it's in that guy's hands, you know. Chylli, not caring about his hand pinned to the table, spoke and pointed at you. Then the thug turned around and saw you swinging the trophy at him. You son of a bitch. Hey, you're holding someone's hand and you're still talking to someone else? Don't you think you should have a little more respect for the person you're flirting with? Saying that, you saw a cruel glint in Chylli's eyes. With a nimble move, a sharp knife pinned to the thug's hand to the counter table. With a thug's scream of pain, the other 2 immediately drew their weapons. Bastard, you dare! Chylli elegantly took a handkerchief from his suit pocket and wiped the blood that splattered on his hand. He smiled maliciously and picked up the shotgun with one hand, resting it on his shoulder. You idiots, what kind of trash dares to steal from me? The thug groaned in pain on the floor, and the people in the bar spontaneously threw them out. Colleen raised a toast to everyone and thanks. Today, everyone's drink is on me. The whole bar plunged into a celebratory atmosphere. Colleen relit the extinguished cigar and took a long drag. Then he placed a glass of wine in front of you. I really wasn't wrong about you. How did you know I was going to help you? Colleen didn't answer, he just smiled and took a sip on his own. Later, if you want any weapons, you can come buy them from me. He said no more and just waved his hand. I feel like this shotgun is honestly better than the minigun right now. Like, it has the interrupt chance, which is really good. I also fractured my bone, so I might need to fix that now. Oh, my wallet. Where's my wallet? Okay, we gotta find his wallet, and then we also need to find drugs, I believe. You felt your foot kick something, so you looked down to check. You found a wallet under the table. Sir, see if this is your wallet. You showed him the wallet you found under the table. Yeah, where did you find it? Thank God I finally found it, otherwise my wife would kill me. A small token of thanks, it's nothing. May you have a long and happy life. The table of the man in front of you was full of empty beer glasses. He was burping, drunk, and the smell of cigarette mixed with the strong alcohol hit your face. I assume this is the Jack who likes to drink. Hello, are you Jack? The drunkard scratched his head, his sleepy eyes looking at you and mumbling. Yeah, that's me, and you are? Here's the thing, Consul, who has the convenience store in town, is my father. Recently, our shop is short-staffed, and I happened to meet your wife at the church. I understood a bit of the situation from her and wanted to know if you'd be interested in working at her shop. You adopted an HR tone, offering a job, learned from who knows where. But Jack, upon hearing your way of speaking, got angry. Yeah, they tricked me into working a 996 system with the same tone you're using now. Wow, you traitors of the working class deserve to die, tricking us hard-working laborers into being slaves for unscrupulous entrepreneurs. You should go to hell just like the capitalists. Jack became more and more agitated, his speech clearer and clearer. You can see the previous experiences made his anger have a miraculous sobering effect. Seeing that he was about to roll up his sleeves and start a fight, Wait, you said they exploited you, so I think that violates labor law, right? Labor law. Yes, 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 that's right, it violates it. Seeing him hesitate and still try to act tough, you realize he was pretending to understand. How about this? I know a lawyer friend about this matter of you being exploited. You can talk to him. I believe the injustice he suffered, the law will surely do you justice. See, this is his business card. Jack took the Matchbox business card hesitantly. Hire a lawyer, won't that be very expensive? Don't worry, since you are exploited, if there's no special reason, it's probably not an isolated case. You guys talk it over, maybe your case can expand into a class action lawsuit. Then as a big case, the legal fees from the way he is, he'll probably give you a discount. Maybe he'll even have to thank you. You start to improvise with the little you knew about television, but it seems Jack was fooled. Alright, I'll contact him later. What about the convenience store? If you can start, just look for Consal anytime. Just tell him what I told you. With your assurance, Jack's face, dejected from unemployment, improved a little. Oh, by the way, where did you get the recruitment information? I saw it in the newspaper a month ago. If you want to find the edition's newspaper, you can go to the city library. All editions of the newspaper are kept there. Library unlocked now. You look at the white powder you picked up from the trash can, examining it carefully. This isn't some kind of drug, is it? You open the plastic bag and sniff. Holy shit, that is such a bad idea. It was the expected strong and irritating smell. This is pretty close, but why would there be something like this here? On the floor, there are many dried vomit stains, and among them also something being dragged. What does this mean? Helene, tell me the truth. There's drug trafficking in your tavern. Do you know about it or not? What? Is there such a thing? You took out what you found in the trash can and showed it to him. You're right, you found this in the bathroom. Yes? Let me remember, people with strange behavior going into the bathroom. As you were talking, John approached the counter. Hey, isn't this the person who just helped me find my wallet? Thanks, otherwise I wanted to have a drink today. Hey, Chylli, give me a whiskey with water. Here, ice and whiskey, enjoy. Just kidding, give me a beer as usual. Here, your beer. By the way, John, have you seen any strange people going in or out of the bathroom just now? Strange people coming out of the bathroom? Now that you mention it, I think I have a vague memory. It seems a thug was helping a girl out. But at the time, I didn't pay much attention. I don't know where they went. That's all I know. If there's nothing else, I'll be going. I feel like improving our dodge ability is probably the best thing we can do here. It says whenever you use a skill in battle, what it exactly is a... Okay, so basically just every turn I will be getting an increased critical chance. I feel like that's better than the 3 additional damage. Hey, you addict, you took the goods and didn't pay. Wake up, you stinking. With a slap, half of the girl's face turned red and swollen, but she still showed no signs of waking up. Damn it, used my goods and didn't pay. I'll take her to the brothel, she looks pretty tasty. Damn, that is fucked up. But let me have a taste first. Stop. Seriously, why do people today have to meddle in everything? The thug pointed the knife in his hand at you. The scene in front of you seems a bit familiar, but you don't remember it very well anymore. It seems you've also stood up for a young woman like this before. Hey, are you okay? You lifted the fallen young woman, but she still didn't react. With a pale face, she trembled slightly from time to time. Saying this, you rolled up her sleeve, which was full of needle marks. It looks like acute poisoning from a drug overdose. Now Dr. Valen isn't here. Let's see what the police can do. Anything? What happened? At the tavern, I found a thug trying to take this girl. I suspect she passed out from a drug overdose, and now Dr. Valen isn't home, so I wanted to see if you guys have any solution. Don't worry, we have the necessary equipment and medicine here. Leave it to us. A while later. Okay, the rest is with us. You can go. Actually, I'm curious why the police station has these things. Usually only hospitals have them, right? You might not know, but a long time ago, a gang called the Serpents settled in the city. They controlled the city's drug trafficking. Things like this happen frequently, and on our missions, we encountered many such cases. That's why the police station always has backup medicine. And then, you guys didn't do anything? The members of the Serpent gang were mostly desperate, and they still had a large arsenal of unknown origin, which made eradicating them a state of helplessness. Later, the new mayor allocated funds to the police station to upgrade the police equipment, and only then could we contain their momentum, and then they gradually declined. So that's what happened. It's all thanks to Mayor Stewart that the city of Arnon is stable today. What else do you need? Nothing much, I just wanted to see how long you've been working here. It's just that I'm tired of the convenience store and wanted to see if public service is good. As he spoke, you skillfully took out a pack of cigarettes and offered one, signaling for the officer to accept. Upon hearing your words, the officer accepted your cigarettes without ceremony. You immediately approached with a lighter and lit it. You want to be a police officer too. So many years of working, the salary is the same. The only advantage is that you don't have to worry too much about losing your job. Leaving your own shop to do a thankless job as a police officer, why? Have you been working for many years? Yeah, I was already working for old Leech when he was still here. So why wasn't it you who replaced him but his son? Isn't that some kind of nepotism? Upon hearing this, the officer took the cigarette he was holding in his mouth. He looked at you seriously. Watch what you say. Old Leech sacrificed a lot for the city. And Leech, after his father was gone, earned his place with his own effort. There's no son succeeding the father here. I won't allow you to make dirty assumptions about them. Sacrificed, the former sheriff died on duty. You wanted to know more about the former sheriff, but clearly the officer in front of you felt offended. You don't need to know that much. For the sake of this cigarette, I'll pretend you didn't say anything. Go away. Okay. Doesn't seem there's really anything else we can do in here. Alright, I figure we're going to have to come here later. I want to check back up at the church again. I'm really wondering where I get that silver key. I guess we go to the library now. On the shelf, there are some books. You notice a thick book. Publication of the Conversation of the Depersonalization Independent Game Joint Creation Group. Impossible to beat, impossible to beat, impossible to beat, impossible to beat. God, 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 I give up, I give up. This is an unbeatable exploration module. XX thousand words, I'm terrified. Reverse summoning illuminates the world. I have a blind friend. After playing reverse summoning, he can see again. I was wrong. I'll never joke about reverse summoning again. The event is also recorded in reverse summoning. This is an update as big as reverse summoning. I support Trump because... Okay, please do not take that out of context. Because reverse summoning illuminated the darkness of America, and he is no exception. Damn, if it weren't for reverse summoning, who would come to the mod group? I need to open reverse summoning immediately to relieve the addiction. Going complete reverse summoning, even 3K exclaimed, the closer the hand is to reverse summoning, the further the person is from the brain. Reverse summoning, not having a second part is like the Nobel Prize not having Tolstoy. Reverse Summoning's Depersonalization DLC has already been released. Lutu, according to the great work, The Legacy of Hermes, in ancient Egypt, reverse summoning was the instrument Anubis used to weigh the heart. Anubis would tear out the hearts of sinners and place them on one side of the scale, with reverse summoning on the other. He who could understand the weight of reverse summoning, his heart would ascend to the light, and he who did not understand the weight of reverse summoning, his heart would fall into the abyss, and the monster would devour the heart, signifying the second death. The true death, and the deceased would never reincarnate. Ming Yuan, the group is full of reverse summoning fans. When is Yihui going to come out and serve customers? Isn't Yihui working yet? Yihui still owes me a Dota walking animation. Speaking of which, I haven't seen Yihui in a long time. Hey Yihui. Was the salted fish bug really fixed? Salted fish won't fix his bugs. Salted fish has started working. Salted fish still doesn't work overtime. Brother Salted Fish, I ask for help. What about my update? The player only needs to report the bug, but Salted Fish has much more to consider. You looked at the nonsensical conversation and felt your brain was grilling. This must be the effect of playing depersonalization modules for too long. On the shelf, there were some magazines. You noticed one of them had the title 3K Interview. For some reason, even though it was a strange title, you couldn't resist and started reading. It's still too early to talk about what we want to achieve, but I think we can at least take the first steps, at least give a place for some interesting people to produce content, said with a smile. If we can achieve that, the next step will be to consider if we can allow some creators to make some profit or, say, support themselves through this game. Our appearance, I don't know if it will bring good or bad changes to the circle, but as long as new people continue to be interested in the circle's content, there will be people constantly innovating, continuing to bring interesting content. This is the positive cycle I hope for. At the end of the book, there's also a photo of a beautiful girl with pigtails. Although you don't quite understand what you saw, you believe this definitely invoked knowledge from the hidden side of depersonalization. At the same time, for some reason, your heart felt inexplicably encouraged. You found a thin booklet called Arne Tourist Guide. The cover of the book had a simple pattern seeming to depict a seaside landscape a bit yellowed. Welcome to Arnon, the forgotten treasure by the sea. The village of Arnon, located on the edge of the blue sea, is a small town full of tranquility and charm. As you wander through the land, you will feel the vastness of the sea and the serenity of the village. The village of Arnon is located on a remote coast with a unique natural landscape. The calm waters and vast beaches are one of the most charming landscapes here. Whether to escape the hustle and bustle of the city or to find peace of mind, this is an ideal place. Arnhem is famous for its rich marine products: fat crabs, fresh oysters, crystal clear shrimp. Besides seafood, Arnhem's marine product crafts are also unique. Before 1997, the village of Arnhem was a barren land. The villagers lived off fishing and simple harvests. However, with funding from the local church, the Arnhem city government built a modern pier, acquired a cargo ship, and dredged for sea routes. From then on, the appearance of the small town began to change silently. Shipping not only facilitated cargo transport, but also boosted tourism in the city. The construction of the pier meant Arnhem was no longer isolated from the world, and more tourists came to feel the simplicity and charm of the sea. All this strongly boosted the village's economy and gave Arnhem a new vitality to remain on this remote coast. Arnhem is not only suitable for those who want to enjoy a quiet vacation, but also for tourists who enjoy adventure and exploration. Here you can go out to sea early in the morning, fishing with the fishermen, or stroll on the pier feeling the cold sea breeze. The pier and the cargo ship were funded by the church. Is Father Nya's church that rich? It seems it really brought a big change to Arnhem. Thinking back, I really did come here for a trip 10 years ago. It's just that the rupture marks on the ship's hull are very problematic. Was it really a common accident? If it wasn't an accident but intentional, who caused the accident? You look at the newspapers on the table, all organized by date into volumes, all arranged in neat piles on the table. Wow, it looks like there are newspapers from a long time ago, already yellowed. You found the ad in the newspaper that Jack mentioned. Job opportunity, high salary hiring, the opportunity of your dreams, change your life. We invite ambitious people to join our team toward wealth and success. No education requirements, no experience needed. As long as you have passion and the determination to pursue your dreams, this is your chance. Job requirements: 18 to 45 years old, good health, positive work attitude, team spirit, willingness to travel and relocate. Assist the company in market development and business promotion. Complete tasks assigned by superiors. We offer pre-employment training, no experience required. Base salary starting from 8,000 yuan. Generous commissions and bonuses. Free accommodation and subsidy for 3 meals. 4 days off per month. Generous holiday bonuses. 5 insurances and 1 housing fund. Year-end bonus. Opportunity for a free trip to Myanmar. We offer a good space for career progression. Special notice: interested parties, please contact us quickly. Limited vacancies. Contact phone. Free trip to Myanmar. Jack is lucky to still have his kidneys. This fraudulent ad couldn't be more obvious. The newspaper from 1970 to today are very well preserved. But while flipping through the newspaper index, you discovered a discrepancy. 1 month's volume was missing. The section for newspapers from April 1993 was empty. How strange, everything is so well preserved. How can just this month be missing? You opened a newspaper at random. Depersonalization Joint Creation Group is attacked by a bug bomb. At 6 a.m. on December 12, 2024, the Depersonalization Joint Creation Group suffered the biggest explosion in its history. After the release of update version 2.0.34 by Meow, modules from many authors experienced problems, including but not limited to item loss, blank rooms, etc. The joint creation group stopped for a day, and currently the program is emergently treating the fallen authors. Report from our stations. 6 December 12th, 2024. What mysterious newspaper is this? How can it be from 2024? Then your vision blurred and it turned into an ordinary newspaper from today. Alright, well, that was a lot of fourth wall breaks. Anyway, we are going to end it here. So yeah, until next time, I will see you then. Bye.